Hi there, today we're unboxing a wire-free battery-powered IP camera. So details in the description below for anyone thinking of purchasing. So let's take a quick look around the packaging. So it comes nicely packaged in a small box. Details on here, so it comes with a 2-year warranty, 2 megapixel camera on here, IP54 rated, has a picture of the actual device there. So come in close there. App control, 2-way audio, motion sensor, night vision, IR cut, long battery life and magnetic base. Let's bring it around here. Takes 4 AA batteries and they're saying can work up to 4 months. Okay, other things to mention, 2.4G Wi-Fi is supported on there, not 5G, just to note. And if I come around here, the app used with this is ENERJSMART. Come around here, and a few more details on here. So micro SD card up to 64 gig. And if we keep going, just a few details. That's the video resolution, so 1080 and 50 frames per second on there. Okay, so let's open it up and see what you get in the packaging. Okay, so I've laid out everything you get in the packaging, so let me quickly go through the items one by one. So you've got a user guide for the actual camera. So if I open that up, just some details about the system and all in English. Okay, next we've got a quick start guide, and this is for setting up the actual app. And again, all in English, doesn't seem complex in any way. Details there, how to set up. It looks very straightforward. Okay, next you've got some fixtures, a raw plug and a screw, and you've got 4 AA batteries and the actual camera. So the camera itself, nice compact design to it, and if I get my ruler just to give you an idea, so it comes in at about 7 centimeters by 7 centimeters. And with the base it's about 9, and the thickness on there is about 4.5. So very nice compact design to it. Now if I pull that off, it's a very strong magnet on this and it clamps to it quite well. So if you see, I'm holding it and it doesn't easily drop off, so which is really good. Now in terms of the actual camera, glossy white finish on there, got the ENERJ branding either side. If I come in there, you can see that's the lens and that's the actual motion sensor on there. And if I come underneath here, you've got a USB point. So if I take the cover off, it's a micro USB point here. Then you've got your microphone up there and you've got your speaker down there. And if I come to the top, you can see it says lock or open. So it's in the lock position at the moment. If I go into the open position, it opens up. Okay, if we go to the back, there's a screw point on there. Looks like it's just for mounting purposes, not for an aerial or anything like that. Coming inside, the camera itself is only this size, so very small. And obviously the batteries go in this location. You've got an on-off button here, a micro SD card slot here, and a reset button. So let me show putting the actual card in. So it goes in this way and you can hear it click into position. So as simple as that. Batteries wise, that's straightforward as well. Obviously, let me just open these up, quickly put them in. There you go, all the batteries are in and it just clips back again. So if I hold it, there you go, box back. So it's sort of a spring motion to close it, which is nice, and a bit more weighty now, obviously with the batteries in. So seems good, nice and compact, and build quality feels great on there. Okay, so let's make a start at setting up this camera. So I'm at my Android phone. If I click on the Play Store, and we search for ENERJSMART, and that's the app you want to install. So if I click install, and let's give it a moment. Okay, so now the app's installed. Let's click open. Okay, so next we need to register an account. So let me do that off camera. Okay, so I've registered an account. I'm going to sign in now. Okay, so this is what you're initially presented with. So let's make a start at adding in the camera. So I'm going to click add device. And I'm going to click smart camera. And next we need to turn on the camera and confirm the light is flashing on there. So if I open it up and put it into the on position, that's the LED light. Okay, it's ready to begin pairing and it is flashing. It's a positive sign. So next, if I click next step, I need to enter in my Wi-Fi password. So let me do that off camera. Okay, so I've entered my Wi-Fi password. Let me click confirm. Okay, next I need to scan in the QR code on the camera. So very straightforward. As soon as I click continue, I'm presented now with a QR code. So if I bring the camera in close to my phone, there you go. I'll click heard the beep and let's give it a moment to connect. And there you go, successfully added. So let's click done. There you go, ready to view already. Okay, so now the camera's added. Let me show you around the app. So here it is on the app itself. This is the camera, Ener-J battery camera. So if I click on that, it's connecting now to the camera, encrypting channel it says, retrieving stream, and that's what's currently visible. Now if I move it, just give you an idea of the lag. So it's about a second, which is generally average for these cameras. And obviously it's working off batteries. So you've got battery level 100%. Now, if I click in the corner here, you've got modify device name. So there's the name of the camera. You can modify the name. Share devices. So you can share them with other people. Device info, that will have details like the IP address. Power management setting, let's go on there. So battery level is 100%, power source is battery. So notify me when battery level drops to 20%. Okay, and obviously you can change that as well. Let's go back, basic function settings. Okay, indicator light. So on the front of the camera, there's an indicator light. So if I bring it up, and you can flip the image as well if you wanted to, and time watermark if you wanted to, one-way audio or two-way audio. Let's flip to two-way audio and let's go back. Okay, so next you've got PIR on-off switch. So at the moment it's low, you can turn it off, or middle or high. Okay, and next you've got SD card settings. So that's the total capacity on the card at the moment. Let's format it as it's a new card. Let's give it a moment. Okay, so now the card's formatted. Let's go back. Next you've got feedback and firmware information, and finally remove device. Okay, so that's all the options you have available. Let's go back. Now this is the display. Obviously I've turned on the timestamp in the corner, as you can see. If I click here, it turns the microphone on, and obviously you can listen to sound in the background. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's picking that up. Next you've got SD, that's standard definition. If I click on that, it goes to high definition, so that's 1080p. Next you've got a full screen option. If I click on that, turn it around, and that's what you see. And if I click on that, you've only got two options, obviously the speaker and the microphone. Turn the speaker off so it doesn't give an echo. And as you can see in the corner, you've got a timestamp on there. as I turned it on. Okay, coming down, you've got a speak option, so you can speak to the person at the other end. That's not going to work because I'm doing a screen record at the moment. I'll show it in a bit. Next, you've got a record option to initiate a record, and there you go, it's saved. Next to that, you've got screenshot, so you can take a screenshot. Then you've got playback, so it will show any recordings it's made. It's part of its motion detection. Then you've got album to see any pictures you've taken off the camera. And that's it, simple as that. And if I go back, and that's what you're presented with. Okay, so the next thing to show is the fact that you don't have to rely on batteries for this product. You can actually plug it in. So I've got a micro USB cable here. If I open up the slot and plug it in, now if we go to the app and we go to power management settings, and there you go, it says wired charging. So if you wanted to leave it permanently plugged in a small area, you can do that. Okay, so next, let's test remote connectivity on this. So if I drop down here, turn off my Wi-Fi for a moment, come back to the camera, let's come out of it. 4G is connected, and now if I click on the camera, there you go. And let's move it just to prove. There you go, no ports to open on your router at all, cloud-based connectivity, and work straight away, no messing around. Okay, so next, let's test out the actual ability to speak into your mobile and hear it on the camera. So if I press speak, and if I bring the phone closer, testing, 1, 2, 3, so pretty loud, very impressive. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to show is that you're not limited to just using the ENERJSMART app. You can use Smart Life and the 2-year app with this camera as well. So if I click on Smart Life here, and it's already set up, so if you haven't got it, obviously install it, register an account, and this is what you'll be presented with. So a very similar interface as the ENERJSMART app. So if I click the plus sign, okay, and we go down to security and sensor, we pick smart camera. Next, we just ensure the light's flashing on the front, and it is flashing. So if I click next step, Wi-Fi password's already in there because I use this and it's cached the password. So if I click confirm, okay, next it's saying it needs to scan in the QR code and to hold it a reasonable distance away from the camera. And if I click continue, it will display the QR code. So let me now position myself to actually allow the camera to scan this in. So I've got the QR code displayed on there now. Let's give it a moment. There you go. So now it says I heard a prompt, and let's give it a moment. And there you go, added in and working straight away. So options wise, if I go through the list, it looks exactly the same as the ENERJSMART app. And again, the options you have available here as well. So just to note, you're not limited to just using the ENERJSMART app. You can use other apps like 2-year or Smart Life. So a great little camera in that respect. Okay, so next I'm going to show the motion detection in action on this camera. So if we select the camera, click here in the corner, go to PIR on off switch just there, and we can select the level. So you've got low, middle and high. Let's click high and click confirm. Okay, so that's now saved it. Let's go back and let's come out of it and come out completely and exit out. Okay, so now if I go over to the camera and put my hand in front of it, give it a second, and there you go. Movement detected. If I click on it, it will open up the app, and there you go. You've got some details regarding the movement. So that's the time it occurred and that's the date. If I click on it, there you go. So it's got a picture in the distance of what it's picked up. And if I click to view, it will connect straight to the camera and you can see what's going on. So let's give it a moment, and there you go. And if I move it now, there you go. Pretty cool. And just to show, if I now turn off my Wi-Fi, let it go on to 4G, let's come out of the camera. So if you're out and about and you want to have movement detection on, let's show that. Okay, so if I put my hand over the camera, give it a moment, there you go, picked it up straight away. So one thing to note, obviously it is working in like a power save mode, and if you see there, the motion, obviously it's not picked up my hand, so there's a slight delay between my hand covering the camera and obviously the camera turning on and grabbing the snapshot. So if you've got continuous movement going on, so someone walking about an area, it'll pick it up quite well. But if it's very brief movement, so you might miss it. So just keep that in mind with this camera. But in general, it does work well, and obviously it does work remotely as well. No issues there. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show is the actual smart scenes in the ENERJ app. So if I click on that, you've got two options, scene and automation. So with scene, if I click on that add scenario, execute the following actions. If I click there, device, I'll pick the camera, and these are the options you have available. So motion detection sensitivity. So you can set up sort of smart rules to change the sensitivity. So say for instance, in the evening you wanted high sensitivity, but in the daytime you wanted low, so you can flip between that. PIR switch, so you can actually turn it off as well. So you could say in the daytime you don't want this PIR on and notifying you, just in the evening. So that facility is available. And now going back, if I cancel out of that one, go to automation, click automatic action. So when any condition is satisfied, so if I look for the device, it's not available, so it's not available on this side of things. But if I go back and go to execute following actions, it's available there, and these are the options you have on there. Okay, so you can, on this part of it, say if it's past a certain time, then change the PIR option. So you do have some smart capability there that you can get automated to do certain actions at certain times if you wanted. Okay, so you've seen the unboxing and setup of this wire-free battery-powered IP camera. A great camera, build quality is good, and in terms of setting up, it's very easy to set up. Now, in terms of actual setting up, you're not limited to just using the actual manufacturer's app. You can use other apps. So instead of using ENERJSMART, you can also use Smart Life or the Tuya app. So I think that's a great facility just to be able to use other apps with this, and you're not stuck with using the manufacturer's one. And that's one of the things to note with a lot of other manufacturers, that you have to use their app, and that's it. So that's one thing. The fact that you can just place this anywhere and it works is excellent. You don't have to rely on power being there or any cables to connect to it. But the only thing to keep in mind is you need a reasonable Wi-Fi signal going to that location. So keep that in mind. So if you're going to place it quite far away, obviously it's not going to pick it up. And to note, it only supports 2.4G Wi-Fi. Another thing to keep in mind is it doesn't have the ability to turn off infrared on the camera. So if you had it indoors pointing towards a window, when it's dark, what you're going to see is the infrared light reflecting off there. So keep that in mind if you're going to use it in that situation. Another thing to note is if you wanted the ability to mask out an area for motion detection, this doesn't do that. So it's the whole area it actually covers. Other than that, it's a great camera. Versatility is there. So there you go. Hope it's helped anyone thinking of purchasing this. Details are in the description below. Thanks for viewing, and don't forget to like and subscribe.